Thank you. Every year I come up here with my version of a smiling face. And I tell you how much money's been raised for APLA so that it can give compassion and care to the deathly ill and dying from this plague that we've been mourning. Those gone, those on their way for almost 15 years now. Years of unrelieved sadness. So again tonight I stand here and I tell you that through the dollar-pulling weight of our nominees and the directed power of Geffen and Meyer and Katzenberg and Gallon, we've raised $3,500,000. That's great. That's great. And it should make everyone here who gave the money and some here who received the services feel fairly good. But every year until now, that smile has masked the true nature of things. That what we've called this night for 9 years, commitment to life, has been a literal, hollow charade. Until now. Wow, there is light, a dawn of it at the far side of the tunnel. From the anecdotal evidence of our friends, those miracles snatched from the last stages and returned tan and fat and healthy, to the statements from Vancouver, people with AIDS are actually getting better. Survivors are beginning to emerge from this savage war. And instead of care and compassion for lives ending, our efforts will turn to lives continuing. I was driving down Wilshire Boulevard yesterday, and I passed by the Veterans Hospital. And I saw a few grizzled, old geezers walking out of the gate. And it made me think, what a sweet picture it's going to be in 30 or 40 years, when through the halls of APLA, instead of the young and wizened, we'll have our own version of the Jewish Home for the Aged. I thought how extraordinary they can be. These unique outcasts who've lived with the certainty of death every day, and now, in this morning of renewal, know the measure of life as only those with little left of it usually know it. What real and true supermen they have the potential to be. I wish that here and there and everywhere in this city, those infected with HIV grow to be great and wise. And I promise you that as long as this community has a dollar in its hands, all of us will support the needs of APLA and its growing body of increasingly strong, life-contributing survivors, and that the words commitment to life will finally and irrevocably mean exactly what they say. Thank you.
I'm Jimmy Loyce, Executive Director of AIDS Project Los Angeles. Welcome, and thank you for your support of AIDS Project Los Angeles. We are gaining ground against AIDS. New findings reported at the International AIDS Conference last week in Vancouver promises to transform how we respond to AIDS in the future. New studies on the effectiveness of AIDS treatments are changing the landscape. As hopeful as this news is, it means that APLA services will have to grow to meet the changing need of people with AIDS. It is because of your attendance here tonight that AIDS Project Los Angeles can continue its mission of improving the quality of life for people with AIDS and reducing HIV transmission through risk reduction programs. Everyone who has contributed to this event has helped provide services and benefits to someone living with AIDS. For example, for every one of you who paid $50, you provided over 2 hours of home nursing care for a person with AIDS. Those in the $100 seats have given 55 people transportation to critical medical appointments. The $250 seats cover over 50 hours of buddy support. The $500 tickets have provided 15 dental procedures. And the $1,000 gives 112 bags of food to hungry clients living with AIDS. Because you are here tonight enjoying the show, AIDS Project Los Angeles can continue to deliver services to over 5,800 people in Los Angeles living with AIDS. And each day we add 7 new clients. But APLA just doesn't serve people living with AIDS. It is our mission to stem the tide of HIV infection. We found that education alone does not always work. It must be tempered with messages of self-respect and self-esteem, whether one is a man or a woman, gay or straight, black or white. To that end, APLA has embarked on a media advertising campaign, the first phase of a campaign to instill in young gay men a sense of belonging and emphasize their contributions to the community. We are losing another generation of gay men. Young gay men 24 years and younger is this group at highest risk for HIV, making up 25% of new infections. We will show you one of these ads tonight. The ad campaign will be expanded to include women, where AIDS is striking at greater numbers than ever before. While the ad you are about to see is aimed at young gay men, the message is the same for anyone at risk.
Be strong. Be committed. Be expressive. Be creative. Be alive. Be confident. Be proud. Be extraordinary. Be negative. Be you.
Thanks for coming out tonight. Please go home knowing you have made a difference for the lives of people living with AIDS. And at this time, please welcome APLA's board chair and also the executive producer of tonight's show, Dana Miller.
Thanks, Jimmy. Ladies and gentlemen, take a moment to just congratulate yourselves because you're a gigantic part of one of the most successful fundraisers ever in American history. Think about that. As Barry said, tonight you guys have raised $3.5 million. That's amazing. This amazing accomplishment could not have been achieved without the 3 exceptional individuals who accepted tonight's honor. I'm talking, of course, of Jill Barad, Edgar Brofman Jr., and Neil Diamond. Thank you 3. And as always, this event is extremely successful in large part due to 5 of the most powerful and successful gentlemen in business today. They never say no. We are extremely grateful they lend both their time and their talent to AIDS Project Los Angeles. Please join me in thanking Barry Diller, Sandy Gallen, David Geffen, Jeffrey Katzenberg, and Ron Meyer. I also want to take a sec just to acknowledge 4 incredible acts of generosity. There were 4 lead gifts in excess of $100,000 each. Thank you, MCA, Mattel, Joan and Bob Tisch, and the David Geffen Foundation. Thank you all. You know, from Scott Whitman to Scott Sanders, Bruce Roberts to Adam Shankman, there are literally hundreds of loving and caring volunteers who came together to bring us this amazing program. I'm telling you, they donate an enormous amount of time and talent. Couldn't happen without you. Thank you all. Now, this is the 9th year of this show. Some of you, I think, have been to every single one. You've seen both the pandemic and AIDS Project Los Angeles change. God knows that they've both grown. We all know there's lots of wonderful news that came out of Canada last week. You know, for the very first time, there was information presented that offered the first real hope in challenging the devastating effects of HIV. A new class of drugs have been developed. As most of you know, they're called protease inhibitors. They're the first new class of drugs to combat HIV since the days of AZT. Given in combination with other drugs, there is dramatic clinical impacts in suppressing viral replication. Now, this new therapy is not a cure for AIDS or HIV, but it does appear that the drugs have the potential to add years and years of quality of life to people who have compromised immune systems, and that truly is wonderful, wonderful news. But there's also the reality that makes it painfully clear that organizations like ours, AIDS Project Los Angeles, are going to be needed for a very long time. Half of our clients do not have insurance. Their access to those new therapies is going to be difficult at best, and kind of in a paradox that's a sad comment on the state of our healthcare system, the very source of our new hope can become the source of despair. For thousands of our clients, the food provided by our pantry and the shelter provided by Section 8 and HOPWA programs will take on a wider role than simply compassion. They will be essential to our clients' long-term health. The services we provide will be needed longer and by more people. But know that I speak for the entire board of directors of AIDS Project Los Angeles when I tell you that as long as needed for the men, women, and children of LA County living with AIDS, APLA will be there. So tonight, as both Barry and Jimmy said, let's bask in the hope, let's enjoy the music and the laughter, and know that tonight we are truly making, it's wonderful, a commitment to life. I thank you all for coming. I really do. Thanks. Before we kick this thing into high gear, I want to bring out a true friend. Last year, in the spirit of collaboration, he created the Hand in Hand Award. It's a cash donation fully funded by him to other outstanding local AIDS service organizations. Please welcome a great guy, my pal, Mr. Steve Tisch.
The Hand in Hand Award was started with a very simple premise. We are all in this epidemic together, and the only way we're going to meet the needs of people with HIV and AIDS is by working together. The two organizations that we are honoring tonight exemplify this spirit. At AIDS Project Los Angeles, we always boast about the range of services we offer to our clients. These organizations each do one thing, and they do that one thing right. Aunt Bees does laundry for over 400 men, women, and children in Los Angeles County living with AIDS, and Project Angel Food brings these people a hot meal and a very important visit if you're homebound living with AIDS. Nothing could be simpler, yet nothing could be more meaningful to someone with AIDS who does not have the means to do laundry or to cook a hot meal. Clean clothes and a warm meal. That sure sounds like love to me. For the love and for the dignity they give the AIDS community in Los Angeles, I am proud to present Aunt Bee, founder and executive director Mickey Jackson, and Project Angel Food executive director John Guile with the Hand in Hand Award and a donation from the Steve Tisch Foundation. Thank you and keep up the great work. Mickey and John, please come up.